Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. I'm Bernie Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward sons. I intend to talk about important topics every week in hopes of helping to improve our country and our way of life. I ask that you like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow the channel and defend America's middle class. So, let's get started. Our guest for episode 79 is former Texas Congressional candidate and my buddy, battle buddy that is, Colonel Vincent Crabb, United States Army. Vince, stud, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, the weather's starting to change. 58 degrees this morning here in Texas, and wow. I'll tell you what, we've had a rough summer, a little hot. So this nice cool weather, I'm out walking in the mornings. Sure is welcomed, I swear.
There you go. Man, I appreciate you joining us. You know, you're a returning champion. I think that you have the record for being on this program. I think you're this is the third time you've been on here, so you're definitely the champion here. So I just appreciate you. And I got a bunch of questions for you. And, you know, the funny thing is you and I talk 3 or 4 times a week, no matter what. And we've been doing so probably for the last 20 years. So I figure that people might want to hear what you have to say about certain topics. And, you know, I always got questions about things. And I just figured let's have you on and give you a chance to say what's on your mind. What do you think about that?
Well, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. Well, first of all, give us a little bio on yourself. Tell us who you are, because a lot of people don't know.
Well, you know, I'm, of course, from Texas and born and raised right here. I've been a fireman, I've been a cop, I was a soldier, a retired soldier, 30 some odd years, 5 combat tours. Woo. And of course, I met you in San Antonio at the Joint Information Operation Warfare Command. And of course, in the beginning, you were my boss. And so we got that connection, but we connected, me and Colonel Flowers connected pretty quickly. And I didn't realize I had just come home from Iraq. First time I met Colonel Flowers, he was, you know, I was introducing myself to him and all this, and he had shared with me later on that, yeah, you were wound a little tight there, and I said, yeah, I didn't realize that. He goes, oh yeah, I said, you know, a lot of the people around the command, they're like, man, this guy, what's wrong with him? He don't smile, he don't do nothing, he'll just look at you and keep on humping. I thought, well, I didn't see that at the time, but he was always in my corner regardless. So I'd always, you know, especially now I appreciate that, you know, two Southern boys like me and you, we connected right off the bat, and we hadn't missed a minute since. And, you know, we ended up, you know, had a Gym Diva together. The Gym Diva, for the folks that don't know, is a pretty large operation, but we pulled that thing off in flying colors, and then we ended up in combat together, and you know, we come home in one piece together. I thought that was pretty cool. That how many guys you talk to today? I mean, some of them are dead, some of them committed suicide, some of them, you know, got killed in combat, but look at me and you. Here we are. You know, we're still talking. You know. We've been shot at, we've been mortared, we've been all this stuff, and we're still here to watch our grandchildren start growing, you know?
Yeah, I tell you, man, there's quite a story there, and you're not even telling a quarter of it. But that's okay. We're not here to tell war stories. I want to get your opinion on some things. Mm-hmm. So, with that said, let's just cut to the chase. What is your opinion of Kamala Harris?
Yeah. This lady, if you look at her background, of course, she's running for president as we speak. And I tell people, I talk to people every day about this, whether it's at the VA, Kroger, family, it doesn't matter. You got a question to ask yourself or ask other people. Can she do the job? And of course, I just got off the phone probably 10 minutes ago talking to a couple of people. Got them on conference call. I got one fella that's going to vote for her, and but it's due to his wife. And so I asked him, I said, hey, you know, you got to go with your heart. I'm not mad at you. Hey, you got to go with your heart. But here's my question. Can she do the job? You know, it's like, you know, us as commanders, we've both been commanders. We know the deal. We know how to do this. If I want a fence welded out there in the, you know, around the motor pool, do I want to get a welder to do that, or do I want to go down and get a chef from, you know, the local fancy restaurant? I'm gonna go with the welder. This lady is not a leader. She never has been a leader. And she's been in there for 3.5, almost 4 years now. And of course, now I got kicked back this morning. One of the responses was, well, she was vice president. She wasn't the president. I said, now, you got to ask yourself that answer you just gave me. You're telling me you think a vice president don't have enough stroke to get things done, especially when she was given the job to do it? I said, so I'm not sure where you're coming from with that, but you need to think about it. Here, if you want to vote for Kamala, vote for Kamala. But you got to ask yourself one question. Can she do the job? Has she done the job? She wasn't a good district attorney in San Francisco. She wasn't a good adjutant for California. Okay, then she ran for president. First one to drop out. I bet a lot of your viewers don't even know that her and Beau Biden were actually an item. Okay, so it's not like she didn't know the Bidens prior to running for president, and then she gets on the stage and then starts accusing him of racism and all this stuff. And first one to drop out, of course, I think then she had like a 4% following, something like that. I mean, it was ridiculous, but she dropped out. The next thing you know, she's on the ticket for vice president. Again, we're making decisions. We people, we leaders, we executive staff. I look at our government, the White House, the Senate, Congress. You are the executive staff of the United States of America. I think I've said that on some of your other podcasts. I don't work for you. You work for me. But if you look at the way it's run today, they, Senate, Congress, executive staff, White House, somewhere along the way, they have become that we kind of work for them. We're the peasants out here. Well, we got to get that changed, okay? Go back to Kamala. Now, tell me one thing that she's done. One thing that she's done that you could put a stamp on and go, no, she did a really good job with that. She did a really good job with that.
Man, you know I'm biased. You're asking the wrong guy.
and it's not there. And the answer is not there. And maybe she's a great, I don't know, maybe she's good around the house. I don't know what she's good at, but I know what she's not good at. And that's being president of the United States. She hasn't been a good vice president. She wasn't good attorney general. She wasn't a good district attorney. So, you know, I think maybe she needs to step out and let somebody that can take it to the next level, or just do the job, period, if you want to look at it that way. We're in some very difficult waters right now. We, United States of America, and the rest of the world. Because you know what? We're the big brother. We United States of America. There's a lot of other countries that follow us. And so can you imagine Kamala standing toe-to-toe with Putin, Venezuela, Iran? She can't do it. She cannot do it. And then this guy she's got on her ticket with her, this Tim Walz.
Yeah, let's talk about him a little bit. I want to know what your opinion is of him.
He's a coward. Let's just say it right off. Let me get that off the bat. He's a coward. The guy, again, you and I have been in the military for a while. We did our thing. We went, you know, it's time to go. We went more than once. Let me say it again. We went to war zones more than once because it was time to go. It's time to do it. This guy sends his people and gets out. That's called a coward in my book. And then I heard him on TV. Well, you know, I can't believe people are talking about me because I wore the uniform proudly for 24 years. He wasn't a command sergeant major. Anyway, when they went, he chose not to. My book, that's called a coward. You don't do that. You don't leave people behind on the battlefield. You don't send your troops into some place that you won't go. I used to get in trouble with my commanders because I'd go to the hot spots with my guys as a commander.
Yeah.
Of course, they would, well, you're the commander. We need to, make sure that you don't get out there and get yourself hurt because you're the commander of the unit, blah, blah, blah. For me to command it, I need to see it. I need to hear it. That means I got to be right beside you when the bullets are flying.
Yep.
I don't send you and go, well, you go do it and let me know if you need anything. That's not the way it works. A good leader.
Yeah.
And how the guy made governor, who did that? Who voted for this dude? And then he wasn't a coach. They say, well, he was a coach. He wasn't a coach. He's a volunteer assistant coach, like me and you would volunteer for the T-ball team for our children or our grandkids. That's what he was. Look it up. I tell all your audience, look it up. The guy was an assistant volunteer. Then oh yeah, they call me coach. Dude, you ain't nothing. And then you spend a lot of time in China. What are you doing in China?
Yeah. Now
you're a governor now. Don't you have a state to govern?
Yeah.
And then now you've got Kamala as president and him as vice president. Are you kidding me right now? And then tell me, when she was vice president, she really didn't have the authority to do anything. Again, I disagree with you. That's like me as a commander. You think my deputy commander didn't have authorities? Heck yeah, they got authorities.
Yeah.
So hear that. And so I tell people, vote your heart, but vote for the right reason. Don't vote because, well, she's a strong woman. Well, she's a black woman. First off, she's not black. If y'all want to be honest, look up the grandparents. There's no black nowhere in there. The lady's not black. She's Indian. She bragged about being Indian, and she even got mad at one of the reporters when she was in San Francisco for saying that, well, what do you think about being the first black district attorney? And she goes, well, first off, I'm not black. My mother's Indian. I'm Indian. Okay, well, you're the one that said it, not me. I'm just kind of following up with what you said. So she, that's, I guess, at convenience of her or her surroundings, if you want to call it that. And I don't even care. I don't care if she is black. If she can do the job, I'd be on board with it. I don't care. I'm American Indian. I've got Irish blood in me, but so I still made a soldier. I was still a fireman. I was still a cop.
Yeah.
But it's not because you're Comanche. No, it has nothing to do with it. Because I'm a good leader, and I know I'm a good leader. I'm a good person. You're a good person. We're good people. We do things for the right reason. They are not. And so I'm telling you, if you're going to vote for her, make sure you're not doing it because it's going to be historical. We're going to have a first black female. Well, first off, you're wrong. She's not black. Second off,
you do.
Yeah, who cares? We're in trouble. We're in trouble. Look at the border. The border's a mess. She was in charge of the border. She's done nothing. And so now all of a sudden she's going to come out of the woodwork and do all these great things. Ma'am, I think you need to put the pipe down and go to work, Call it like it is.
Well, talk
Here we
about
are. So now we got a mess. We have got an absolute 110% mess. And of course, you hear all these, things about, well, Trump said this and he's hard to get along with. He's a type A guy.
Yeah.
You and I are type A guys. You have to be a type A guy or woman to do certain things, to be a leader, because there's going to be choices and decisions that you will have to make that will certainly not be popular amongst the audience, I promise you, but it has to be done. She is not that person.
This business is not that person. Faint of heart.
So that's kind of where I stand on her. She done her thing. Hey, you got your ticket punch, VP, and go home. Time for you to go home.
Yeah. Well, look, let's talk about leadership. I mean, Biden, people don't know this, most people that aren't paying attention, but he just sent a bunch of troops over to the Middle East and also a couple of aircraft carriers. And what do you think about all that?
If we're going to support somebody, Israel's been there with us. The On my first tour in Iraq, I had Israel soldiers with me, and they've always been there for us. And they're pretty much getting ganged up on as we speak. Am I excited about sending our men and women back into harm's way? Well, certainly I'm not excited about that, but sometimes we got to stand shoulder to shoulder. We good people have to stand shoulder to shoulder. I mean, what happened on October I believe it was the 7th, that they were attacked, just like we were attacked on 9/11. They were attacked, and horrific. I mean, the pictures, the stories, when you're raping people to the point you're breaking their hips. I mean, you know how brutal that would have been?
I don't even want to think about it.
I mean, it should make a grown man and woman cry, and it should make you want to go, this has got to stop. And everything coming out of the Middle East comes out of Iran. Iran is the kingpin here. You know, we got the people out of Lebanon, Hezbollah, I believe, and then we got the Hamas out of Gaza. It's like, but they're all connected to Iran.
Yeah.
Does anybody see a little connection here? Maybe we need to. Hey, I got an idea. Let's not give them more money. Let's start with that. United States of America. Stop giving those countries money. Give money to the right people when we're helping. What did Obama, Hillary Clinton, what did they do? They gave 150 billion, 250 billion, whatever it was, to Iran to help them with their nuclear program. Have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? That's like the guy next door beating you with a ball bat every time you go outside, and then you learn that he's lost his ball bat, so you take him a new one so he can whoop it again tomorrow.
That's a good way of putting things.
I mean, so why would you do that? So it's crazy, but here we are, and I'll tell you why. Because all that money filters back into the United States of America. Let's see, don't we have a nonprofit foundation called the Clintons? Don't we have Pelosi's? Don't we have the Schumers and the Bidens? They're all getting kickbacks.
Clinton Global Initiative. You know how I feel about such things.
Mm-hmm. So here we are, though. It's like, follow the money. Then you got Soros and his little protege, his son now.
Yeah.
I mean, we got all these people involved in this. And this is, I hope it doesn't get to the place like the places that you and I have been to, because we've been in places where there was no law. I call it the lawlessness lands.
That's right.
You go in there, the law is us, the ones that still have a good heart and good mind and try to put down bad.
Yeah.
But I'm a little concerned about the United States of America. Look at our border, wide open. I think I've mentioned on one of the other times I was with you about that movie, Red Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
We're living a Red Dawn. Look at Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. You got Venezuelans taking over buildings. I mean, apartment buildings, hotels, and hello.
Yeah.
Watch the movie. I tell everybody, watch the movie. You're living it. And then there's one way to fix this. We got to fight. We have to fight. We got to stand shoulder to shoulder and fight. Well, let's use some diplomacy. Well, how's that worked out for us so far? Let's ask our neighbors stop hitting us in the knee every time we walk outside. Please don't do that. It hurts. I don't like that. And what's he do? He laughs at you and hits you in the knee again.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, though, you take your bat or your 9mm, I can promise you can put that to bed pretty fast, and it won't happen no more. That's where I'm at with our nation. This being nice has got to stop. We be nice when we can, but when we have to fight, we fight like tigers. We get in there, and you want me, you got me. But this has been going on for I don't know how long. I'm sure it was going on before you and I went into the military, I'm sure, but here we are. But the old school men and women, they dealt with these people differently. They sent messages. Do you not remember what Reagan did when he blew up the guy's house with his family in it.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And he said, don't do that no more. You did it again. Guess what? What's your smart bomb? What it does to your house with your family in it?
Well, look, let me ask you something else. And there's a couple of old war stories that popped into my head, but we probably get in trouble for talking about them, so I'm gonna let them go. But how about Dick Cheney? I understand that he is now supporting Mrs. Harris's campaign. Now, you know how I feel about Dick Cheney. Both of us were at the Pentagon when he was doggone vice president and Rumsfeld was the Secretary of Defense. And those guys were starting wars all over the place and making money through Halliburton. You know, I'm a little biased, but I want to get your take on Dick Cheney supporting the Harris campaign.
This dude's been making money off the American people for years, you know, from the Green Deal to the wars, you know,
KBR.
KBR. I mean, he's had his hands full of money for years, and that's all he does. And as far as him supporting Kamala, he's just mad because his little girl got her ass spanked. And so that's all he's doing. He got to support her because she went home to daddy crying, and look what he said about me. Well, look what y'all did to him. You drug him through the mud because the Clintons paid how many millions of dollars for his dossier that was a lie.
Steele dossier.
And so now you're going to support her because you got a spanking and you was in the wrong in the beginning. First off, shame on you, and next off, go to hell. What I tell you. Go to straight to hell, both of you and your little crybaby little girl.
Oh, man. Well, look, here we go. Let's go on another one. Biden. Now, Kamala Harris is the vice president. Biden seems to have disappeared. We got hot spots all over the world. Biden doesn't seem to be in charge to me. What do you think about that?
No, he hadn't been for a while, and we all know that. Well, like the other day, I mean, look at the cabinet meeting when his wife took over the cabinet meeting, and he announced it. You know, from this point forward, my wife's going to lead the cabinet meeting. Like,
who elected her?
Yeah, I mean, when did that happen? And then secondly, I'm pretty sure there's some exes in there that have been given a lot of advice, which maybe that's about the only thing that saved us, maybe. And but here we are. So he's not running nothing. He got in there, did his thing, which was nothing. First day in the office, what did he do? First day after he got sworn in, you don't remember.
He opened the book.
Went in there, and anything that had Trump's name on it, he got rid of it.
There you go.
And so, but here we are. But he's trying to play the big dog on the block, and making all these little crazy comments. Oh yeah, I'd like to take Trump out behind the barn or the school and whip his ass. And I was like, have you lost your damn mind? And then you talking about stealing money. Look at him and his whole family. They've stole, well, how many millions of dollars?
Yeah.
But Biden's not doing nothing. And yeah, he was. Yeah, they did. They pulled a coup on the guy. I mean, he didn't. Well, a week earlier, he said, "I'm not stepping down." And next thing you know, you get the Obamas, the Pelosi's, and the Schumers, and all of a sudden now he's decided to step down. I mean, like Trump says, it's kind of like I'm in the ring. We're in here boxing, wrestling, whatever we're doing, and I'm not doing so good, so I'm going to tag somebody else in. So now you got to fight two of us. I mean, when did our country come to that? But here we are,
out of control.
Yeah. So who's running the country is a good question. I mean, I can throw out a list of names from his wife to the Obamas to the Clintons, and I know Kamala's not running anything. She's just, I don't know what the hell she does.
All she's doing is cackling.
Yeah, she's finding somebody to laugh at and throwing a word salad at somebody, I'm sure. And I mean, somebody that took 2 or 3 times to pass the law board. I mean, what do you expect?
Yeah. Well, let's go on. You mentioned Iran a little bit ago. Well, I know that they have threatened to assassinate President Trump. What do you think about that? And if you were in that situation, protecting him, what would you do about it?
Protecting, if I was the president, protecting the ex-president?
Yeah, well, I mean, just keeping Trump from being shot.
Well, first off, he would get a detail that's suitable for a president, ex-president. But when you got other people with Secret Service details bigger than his, yeah, that's a big deal. And then the lady that was the director of the Secret Service, which was a personal friend of Jill Biden, by the way. And Jill Biden had a bigger detail than President Trump. I don't know. Let's put that one together. I mean, I don't think it takes an Einstein to figure that out. And because it was all about he made me mad. He said this. He treated my husband bad on the debate stage. So instead of giving him 20, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know what the real number is, but 20 agents. Let's give him 5. Well, you're setting the guy up to die. I got a feeling some of his security is coming out of his own pocket that he's paying for, and they're probably ex-military guys, would be my guess. And he's probably got better security than the Secret Service ever thought about having, would be my guess, when it comes to the ex-military guys. And I don't know. It's a shame. We've come to that. We America have come to this. I mean, this is. Last 4 years have been, just the things that are happening, the things I hear on a daily basis on the television is like, when did that happen? I mean, like Kamala was never nominated.
You are correct.
She wasn't nominated. I think Joe got pissed when they pulled the coup, and he flat said, well, I'll appoint her. She's taking my spot. And boom, there it was. And it's like, is it legal? I don't sound to be legal to me, but here we are. But look at everything else they've done that's not been legal. They talk about January 6th constantly here lately. I've noticed a bunch of that coming back up on TV. I've got it saved on my phone. I've got the recording on my phone. What he said that day. He didn't say go attack the Capitol. That's not what he said. He said peacefully, patriotically go to the Capitol and have your voice heard. That's what he said. Then you're hearing, 6 cops died on this day. No, they did not. Only one lady, Air Force veteran, died. Then you hear, well, she was a commando. No, she wasn't. She was a supply sergeant in the Air Force and was shot. Okay, now you've got an option with the guy that shot her. Charge him, or make him look like a hero, give him a medal, and let's give him a direct commission into the Secret Service. So guess what they did?
The latter.
They gave him a direct commission into the Secret Service and gave him a medal because he was protecting democracy. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. By the way, these 6 people they say that died, 4 of them committed suicide 2 or 3, 4 weeks later. One of them had a stroke, and one of them was in another police incident, Capitol Police incident somewhere down the road, and he died. There's 6. There's your 6. But they did not die on January 6th. That was a lie. And she said that on the debate stage that night. And I know Trump didn't address that, but I don't know, maybe, but you've seen what happened to Kamala and Trump, I'm sure, on the debate stage. Is like, again, he was going against 3 people. And again, it's pathetic. You watch TV today and you watch the media and what they do, and they're not good people. They're not good leaders. I mean, look at The View, for God's sakes. What a joke.
I'll pass on that. I've seen those old cackling hens, and I can't stand them.
The only reason they even got a job because Oprah Winfrey owns that television station. That's the only reason those wenches got a job, It's like, they're all up there doing their thing. And I mean, was it Judge Janine that went on there, and Whoopi treated her terribly and talked to her like a dog and called her all kinds of names. And it's like, why would you do that? I mean, you're supposed to be a professional. And back in the day, I actually liked watching, Whoopi's movies and thought she was funny. But here now, I was like, you're not a good person, man. You're not acting okay. You don't do that to people.
No, not at all. And, to caveat what you're saying, I was sitting there watching that and, Trump got fact checked, I don't know, numerous times. And the fact that Kamala, nobody questioned anything she said. I mean, doggone it, your nephew is getting ready to deploy overseas. And I can tell you there's people that we know personally that are in hot zones right now. But she said that there were no soldiers deployed overseas, and she's a flat out liar, and ABC did not fact check her on that, but yet they fact checked Trump on everything that he said, and we just let them get away with that.
We did. And oh, by the way, when she said that, we got about 40,000 in the Middle East as we speak.
Yeah.
And of course, he didn't respond, and I don't know, maybe he didn't have the information, but I don't. Somebody, if they're going to fact check her, they should have they should have done it to her, and because that was not correct.
Yeah.
And I mean, as we speak today, we'll do 4 weeks ago, we had 3 killed.
Yeah.
From an Iranian missile.
Yeah. Yeah. And what in the world are we doing in Syria? What in the world are we doing in Africa? It's another story for another time, but most people have no understanding. But look, let's move on to the next thing. I mean, this is all related. And as I said before, you and I talk about this stuff all the time. And I just thought that, hey, let's record a normal conversation between me and Vince.
Right.
I figure people might enjoy it. What do you think about this migrant crisis? I mean, you touched on it just a little bit. I mean, we got craziness going on in Aurora, Colorado. We got craziness going on in Springfield, Ohio. We got craziness going on in Chicago, all over the country. All these people that have been brought here in the local communities already. Talk to me. Tell me what's on your mind.
Yes, they go back to the movie. I mean, Red Dawn. This is what this is. I mean, is it Eric Adams? Just, he's been, charged with 5 felonies, I believe now, because, he got in bed with Turkey, getting their people over here. So, like everybody, they see money and smell money, and everybody was yelling, well, you should keep all the people on the border states. No. All y'all want to be sanctuary states. You want to be a sanctuary city. And now when it's time to pay your dues, because you've been getting paid money from the federal government because you're a sanctuary, Martha Vineyard, by the way, you got your money too. And then when they showed up, you had them out of there in less than 24 hours.
Sure did.
Why? Because we got all the ex-presidents and senators and all the big wigs up in Martha Vineyard. And we don't like those kind of people. Those kind of people? What do you mean by that? Isn't that kind of racist to say that? I'm going to go with yes. But they can be around the rest of the nation, but they don't want them in their backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And so all these other states, Colorado, New York, Chicago, I mean, all those places, they want us, the border states, to keep everybody that comes across the border down here. You're the one that brought them over here. Matter of fact, the Haitians you're talking about, they're not coming across the border. They're being flown in by our government.
Yeah.
And you know what she said about that? What Kamala said about that? Well, we're trying to ease the pain of the trip coming to the border. This way we just fly them straight in. And do what? Oh, that's right. You dump them off in Ohio. You dump them off over here. You dump them off over there. So, I mean, what do we do? I mean, when you're fighting internally. You got two or three fights going on, and we're having to fight the leadership basically at this point. And so, people got to stand up. People got to stand up and call it like it is. And then she makes a big deal about this massive deportation that Trump talks about. Yeah, it needs to be done.
Sure does.
What do you do with it? I'll tell you exactly what I'd do with it. If I was president for 12 months, I'd contract every bus I can get my hands on And those 87,000 IRS agents that they just hired and gave guns to and bullets, guess what? You're no longer IRS. Now you're security.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be on that bus because we're taking all those people that come across the border, we're taking them straight back down into that gate that goes into Mexico and opening the gate and say, go into Mexico. They let you come into our country, we're sending you back to their country. Mexico, it's your problem. You should have stopped them, but you thought it would be funny. You're going to send your fentanyl and all your drugs up here and then get all these people up here that you're trafficking. You think it's funny, you're making a lot of money. Well, guess what? Kamala, Biden, the guy that runs the Homeland Security, can't remember his name, but
Secretary Mayorkas.
Mayorkas. I mean, what a joke. What an absolute joke. I mean, he's like, why don't you go live with them people? Y'all go down there and live on the border. You're not even there long enough to get a sense. I've been down there 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay anywhere from a week to 2 weeks when I'm down there. I've been out with the Border Patrol. I've helped people come, the people come across the border that, they're struggling, of course, but I'm not going to sit there and watch kids drown. I'm not doing that. I don't care what country they're from. I'm still a human being. I think I'm a good human being, but
you are.
But it's this is not okay. I mean, y'all have created this mess, but now you, Kamala, you get on TV and go, well, I'm going to fix the border because Trump, he did this. Trump had the border closed, ma'am, and you still yell about I'm not putting up no more wall. The wall doesn't work. How would you know? How would you know? How about this? How about we have a bunch of rabid dogs? And for you knuckleheads like Kamala that don't know what rabid dog is, a dog that'll bite you in the ass. How about if we have a bunch of them running around your neighborhood and you don't have a fence up? Those dogs are going to come in your garage and bite you. But now you put that fence up, they're going to be on the other side of the fence. Well, the same thing we got down there. Is it going to be a cure-all? Absolutely not. I mean, there's tunnels. I mean, fly, come around the wall in California on the waters. I mean, there's always going to be a way to get here some way, but it deters and it does slow down. That it does work. But the only thing this was, I hate Trump, so anything he recommends, I'm not going to do.
Yeah,
that's what this is all about, and so that's where we're at. And then you get all these, these women, women power, women power, women power. Where y'all at? Why don't y'all step up to these little girls that are being beaten, tied up, raped, killed? And instead, you're worried about Trump. How about you step up, women power, and help out here?
Wait, let me ask you this. Since, we got all these people in here, and my theory on the subject, they brought them in here to eventually, be free labor and also to vote, eventually replace us, replacement theory. So illegals voting in elections, I mean, already they're allowing them to vote in municipal elections in some places here in the United States. What do you think about that?
Then we're also doing it already. He's already given them driver's license in his state.
Mm.
And guess what? If you got a driver's license, you know how it is. You go in to vote. If you got an ID, a picture ID, they're going to let you vote. That's just the way it is. I mean, and they know it's wrong. The people even running the booth know that it's wrong, but they do it anyway because we got a crooked system right now. We need our America needs a reset. We need a reset. And we need to go back old school. Back in my day, when I was acting stupid, young and stupid, let my uncle get a hold of me and see what happens. That acting stupid comes to a halt pretty fast. Mm-hmm. These days, like, oh, well, you can't do that. That's corporal punishment. You can't whoop your child. I'll whoop that ass. Don't think I won't. So it's like, so that's what I'm saying about this. Keep your mouth shut, media. There's got to be a tool, some way, somehow, that we can shut the media down. People on View, people on MSNBC. If the Trump name wasn't in the media, MSNBC wouldn't have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, they'd go out of business.
And then you got the Don Lemons in the world. Like,
oh, Lord.
What is your deal, dude? Why don't you go do whatever you do and take all the other knuckleheads with you? You know,
man,
it's hard to talk about these people without, you know, talking like we normally talk, because I got a lot of different names I'd sure like to throw out here.
I had so many cuss words float through my head just a few seconds ago, and they about came out of my mouth, and I said, you know, we're recording this. That would not be appropriate.
It's just like, but I want to go old school. I mean, meet me in the middle of the street. You want to argue with me? Let's go old school. Let's go bare knuckle. Meet me on the corner, and let's get us a crowd. I want them to see you give me a spank down. I want people to see you do that. Waltz, or whoever else y'all got out there that's a tough guy. I'm 64-year-old broke down soldier boy. Y'all come give me a spanking. Call me out. Call me out. You coward.
Well, you know, you mentioned it earlier. Waltz ain't going to fight nobody, and he'd be scared as hell of you. Tell you that right now.
But it's pathetic. I mean, we've got to this point of, like they keep talking, Trump says, no abortion, no abortion. That's not what he says. He says the top three: rape, incest, and the medical of mom or baby.
Yeah.
He says it every time, but they keep yelling, well, what about the rights of the woman? What about the rights of the baby? Who's fighting for the rights of that baby? Well, it's not a baby. The hell it's not.
Yeah.
It's got legs, it's got arms, it's got fingers, it's got a beating heart.
Got a heartbeat.
That's a baby. And who's fighting for that baby?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a lot of people out here that can't have children that probably would love to adopt. So, I mean, and I got a better idea. How about you keep your damn knees together? You know, if you don't want kids, how about that?
Uh-oh.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, you know, you talk about your rights, ladies. Hey, I'm not mad at you. Hey, go do your thing, but be responsible. There's plenty of ways of being responsible, and killing children is not one of them. You don't get into the 6th and 7th month and go, I've changed my mind. I don't want to do this. No, you're still going to have a baby. We'll just, you know, we'll put it up for adoption when it gets here, but you don't get to go to which I know it's done every day. I mean, I'm not ignorant. You know, you still got the people in the back alleys with the clothes hangers that are still doing their thing. I mean, that's old school talk. I'm sure that you and I would heard back in the day, but you think it's still not being done today? All right. Let me sell you a bridge. Yeah, it's been done, but you know, you talk about your rights. Again, what about the rights of the baby? So I can tell you, I mean, I can be a warrior guy. I can go to the Badlands with you. We'll stack them up. But when we're home, we take care. We protect and serve. We protect and serve right here.
Yeah.
And if somebody's going to be hitting on a child or hurting a child in front of me, you're going to fight me. You got to know that.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you're a man or a woman. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care what you are. Do that in front of me and see what happens.
Brother, let me tell you something. You know, I just appreciate you being honest, and you know, you're always honest. I think it would hurt you to tell a lie, but I'm gonna tell you, I want you to talk to the people. Whatever's popping into your head right now, say what you will. The floor is yours.
Well, you know, to your audience out there, I would tell you we're in very difficult times. We are the United States of America. I love my America. I fought for her, bled for her, killed for her, and she's worth it. But don't make choices because of the color of somebody's skin, of their gender, what party they're connected to. Make choices because it's the right thing to do for the United States of America. Don't be a Democrat. Don't be a Republican. Don't be an independent. Be an American first. Don't think about cheating somebody. You got a better idea. There's a movie come out years ago. It's called Pay It Forward. Do something good for somebody. change their tire, mow their yard, do whatever, take them some food. And when they want to pay you, say, no, I want you to pay it forward. When you come across somebody else that's hungry, needs their yard mowed, needs their tire changed, then you help them out. You pay it forward. And when they try to pay you, you tell them the same thing. Why don't we start trying to do some stuff like this? Let's go back to being American again. And these people, and when you got the inner city gangs griping because the Venezuelan gangs are taking over their territories, like, woo. You know what I say to the inner city gangs? Do your thing. Run them off. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you 36 hours. Run them gangs off. But, how silly is it? We got inner city gangs that are literally going to Chicago. They went to the city council and they're griping because the new people they're bringing in are taking over the streets.
Yep.
It's like, do something about it. You're out there with them. Well, I'm going to go to jail, probably, if you get caught, yeah. But hey, you got a choice. So I say to the people, November the 5th is going to be so important for our nation. We're sending troops back into the Middle East again. That means when we send people in, guess what we get back? We get body bags.
Yeah.
And guess what's in that body bag? It's a young lady or young man that belongs to somebody. This is not okay in the name of people's going to make more money. You people that know Soros, why don't y'all go sit in his front yard for a while? Why don't y'all have a little chat with Soros? I ain't telling you to hurt him, but just have a little chat with him. Why don't y'all go to his son's New York condo? Y'all have a chat with him when he comes down. These people need the fear put into them. This is a time for us to go back old school. Go back old school. It don't hurt. It don't hurt to give a spanking here and there. Spankings are needed a lot of times. This diplomacy people talk about, first off, you don't even know how to spell the damn word, so keep your mouth shut. Step up. Do what's right. Stop worrying about your book, your pocketbook. Talk about worrying about your $300 bottle of perfume. Get a job, get off the couch, vote for Trump November the 5th. If you put Kamala in there, just remember you did that. Because you already know what she's going to do. Don't tell me you don't know. You've already seen what she's going to do. She does nothing.
Yeah, except raise taxes.
Tim Walz, what you're going to do with him? You're going to have tampons put in every damn bathroom in all Walmarts in the United States of America. That's tampon Tim right there.
Mm-hmm.
I said he's going to run his coward self back into China somewhere. Tim, you're a coward, my friend. You're a coward. Call me. America, wake up. Times are tough. It's about to get tougher if we allow this to happen.
Yeah.
Stand up and be Americans one more time. We need it. We need you. We need you. We need you.
Brother, how can folks get a hold of you if they need to?
Well, my website's still rolling. I didn't take it down. So you can still go to my website and you still contact me through that. And so I've got my phone number on there, my email and all that. And I'll come talk to people if they want, they can call me on the phone. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I'd love to debate with let me talk my point. If you think I've said something that's wrong, tell me why. Because I'm a man enough to go, you know what, you're right. I was wrong to say that. But give me a chance. Tell me what I said that was wrong, but tell me why I'm wrong. and then give me a chance to respond to that. That's all I say to you.
There you go. Well, bro, thanks for coming onto the program. You know, like I said, we talk 3 or 4 times a week, and we know each other's opinions about such. And I just felt like the people deserve to hear what you had to say. I mean, you've been in the business, what, 40 years?
Yep.
Put a few of America's enemies in the ground. I can attest to that fact. And if anybody deserves to have their opinion heard, it's Vincent Daryl Crabb.
Well, same thing on the battle, buddy. I mean, we were in some pretty hot spots, and here we are.
Here we are, still smoking and joking.
Yeah, we're doing our thing, and I hope we're not through yet. I mean, I think between the two of us, we've got a world of experience, and the fact that both of us run for Congress, and it blows me out of the water, the lack of resume the other folks have got that we run against, but that tells you how they're cheating. There's no way they can look at your resume and your background and many of your deployments into hot zones, not to the chow hall, but to hot zones.
We didn't have no time to go to no chow hall.
Exactly. Yeah, we was running and gunning on the way. You know, we was eating MREs as we was shooting backwards. You know,
Lordy.
But so how can we not get in? And I'm not whining, but I'm just saying it makes no sense. It makes no sense. It tells you what kind of system we've got. I mean, and the guy that won your primary, he wasn't even on the list. All of a sudden, he pops up. Soros, Pelosi, Schumer. I mean, that tells you what kind of system we've got. And so it's like, I'm telling the people that's listening, that will listen, help us change this. We can't do it by ourselves. We're only 2 fellows here, but guess what? Numbers makes a difference. If we can all stick together and put our shoulders together, we will get their attention. I promise you, we will get their attention, and we can do this. But we got our kids, our grandkids, our great grandkids. We're leaving them a mess. 110% a big old mess.
$35 trillion in debt, and nobody seems to care. Nobody but us and the people who listen to us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope somebody hears it and goes, you know, maybe I will pay it forward. Maybe I will do something good. Maybe I will think about who I'm going to vote for, you know, or say something to somebody that potentially could make a difference. And I got it. You know, I'm not ignorant to the point that people are just not going to go, oh, okay, we're going to listen to you. And then they throw your notes in the trash can when you walk out the door. I got it. I know that happens. Yeah. But you know what? Don't give up. Keep hooking. Keep hooking.
There you
go. Jab, baby. Hook and jab.
All right, brother. Well, look, I'll be in touch. You know I will. And I look forward to hearing from you. And before you know it, we're going to have you back on this program again.
Roger that. Well, you take care of yourself. Say hello to the family, and we'll catch up.
You do the same. Well, that's about it for now. This has been the Loyal Opposition Podcast, produced in association with Fallback Productions and Veterans for America First. Please like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow the channel and protect America's middle class. Be sure to get your copy of my book, Black Values Matter, available as an ebook on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. And also, remember, it's okay to disagree. But if we want our country to prosper, we must insist on unity, transparency, and civility for ourselves and for our fellow citizens. Thanks for listening to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. We'll see you next week.